Hi guys, today we want to run through the differences between our TT paper versus one of our main opposition, which is Papillion paper from Storapack. Today we want to cover sort of the main 5 objections that we have when we come up against this, and we'll start by running through one by one to hopefully give you the best possible ideas of how to protect against it when we're under attack from existing accounts, and also how we can use the benefits of our machine to also win business against Papillion in the field. Okay, so before we go into the objections, what we'll first do is just run through the product itself. For those who haven't seen it out in the field yet, the Papillion product's made up of 2 pieces of paper that's actually glued down the center and then bunched up to create a butterfly style pad. Okay, so one thing to note when you're looking at a Papillion pad is that it actually takes a lot more paper to create that short amount of pad. To emphasize this, to show that this pad turns into the same length of paper as we've got at the top here, simply stretch the pad out just to see that it actually takes a lot more paper than you think to actually create that pad. Okay, so one of the first objections we get over here is every so often the customer says that the Papillion machine is actually quicker to use than our TT. And normally what they come out with is when they use the Papillion machine, which can only be used on an EDS function, actually takes less amount of pads to fill the void than our one piece of TT on EDS mode. A simple resolution to this is normally if there is a substantial void there, we teach the customer how to use the foot pedal mode with the TT, which the Papillion machine doesn't offer, and that then allows them to fill up their carton much quicker, as opposed to the Papillion where they still have to stand there grabbing out piece by piece every time. So one of the added additional features that our system has over the Papillion is that we can also override the EDS function if we need to fill up a slightly bigger void, again to speed up the process for them. To do that, we're taking the piece of paper away, stand on the foot pedal. As soon as we remove that, it instantly goes back to the EDS function, which again helps to speed up the process. So one of the most common objections we have when we're going up against the Papillion machine is that it's a much smaller, compact machine compared to our TT cutter. And to be honest, we agree, it is a nice small machine. However, once we've gone through the added benefits and features of the TT cutter, it normally doesn't become an issue. So one of the biggest things we hear when we're going up against Papillion is that their product comes out nice and fluffy and it fills the void really well. In reality, once they actually put that in the box to pack their order, it gets scrunched down during transit, and we've got an example here of how the paper actually ends up after it comes out of the box. So as we all know, a lot of the time it comes down to price as well. So when we're going up against Papillion, and once we've established that their product flattens out in the box, what we want to do is get the piece out of the box, stretch it out flat, and then obviously because the product's 2-ply, we want to tear both plies apart and then lay them side by side just to establish how much paper is actually going into the box. Now that we have established that, what we want to do is get a similar length piece of the TT paper, and once we actually put that beside the Papillion paper, it gives the customer a really good visual in showing how one piece of our paper equals roughly the same width as what the Papillion piece does. So as we know, the pack of TT is 500 metres long versus the Papillion, which is 280 metres long. So when we're going price per metre comparison, the TT tends to always come out on top.